Maintenance work on gas processing plant and offshore gas export facilities on the energy sector beginning from now to the next 16 days. We are live with an energy expert. Also in this bulletin, a new report published by accounting and auditing firm PwC shows that approximately 43% of family-owned private businesses lack a succession plan.
Private companies, you are not only focused on the business success, you also need to plan for the family cohesion. And so having the family success and business success working together hand in hand takes you to that destination.
We will have a discussion on that as well. Plus, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry blames high interest rates for the underperformance of businesses in the country.
I don't expect any business to be able to make profit under this high interest rate. So what they are doing is that probably they are not investing, they are not expanding. That is the reason why a lot of people are also not getting jobs.
Details of these and more for you. Please stay. I truly appreciate your time with me, Pius Kojo Baka. This evening, it is unclear whether there will be a reliable power supply to most parts of the country due to the planned maintenance work on the gas processing plant and offshore gas export facilities on the energy sector beginning from now to the next 16 days. According to Ghana Gas, this is needed to enhance the plant's operational efficiency and uninterrupted gas supply. Let's take a listen to the head of corporate communications at Ghana Gas, Ernest Owusu Bempah, explaining the situation.
The safety protocols in the gas facility or the gas infrastructure. We need to do some critical maintenance on the gas infrastructure. And it's very important that as a company, we adhere to the protocols and do the right thing to make sure that the facility has an efficient operational, uninterrupted operational activities going on within the gas processing plant. And so we decided to prepare the protocols to do a critical maintenance, and that is to change a lot of things and also make sure that the gas processing plant lifespan is maintained. It's one of those things that we do. And so the plant has been shut down from the 1st of August, which is today, to the 17th of August. Actually, the engineers told us that it's going to be on the 15th, but we thought that when they are doing regasification and making sure that they push the gas and oxygen in to make sure that there's no leakage here and there, we thought it wise that it should be on the 17th so that we meet the deadline and go ahead with it. So that is basically what is happening. So Ghana Gas will want to assure the general public that there's not going to be an interruption with any power generation for the country, because we've made an alternative lean gas which is going to flow from Sankofa OCTP, which will be available for delivery for TDC, Takoradi Distribution Station, for Amboise Thermal Plant for power generation. So basically, we've made an alternative for that, which is part of the combination of the tie-in of the three sources of power, source of gas flow for power generation. One of them is the Sankofa gas facility.
Ernest Owusu-Bempah speaks for Ghana Gas. So what's going to be the overall impact of this on the energy sector? Joining us via Zoom to explore that angle is head of department at the Gimpa Law School, who's also equally vexed in the energy matters. Lom Nuku Alhaji joins us via Zoom for some explanations to that effect. Thanks so much, sir, for agreeing to speak to us on Business Live. First off, should we be worried about this planned maintenance work on the Ghana Gas processing plant and, of course, the offshore gas export facilities in our energy sector, you would say?
I don't think that we should be concerned at this point because, as you know, most of these things are planned. And so alternative arrangements should be put in place before the actual maintenance regime starts. And as you can see from the release from Ghana Gas, at least some alternative has been put in place. As to whether it to be adequate or reliability will be confirmed is what we need to be asking questions about, because at the end of the day, I have seen that the independent power producers have raised concerns about whether there could be alternatives. But as we can see, there's alternatives. So it's about seeing how it works in fact in terms of actual operationalization of it. But on the other hand, as the PRO just explained, these maintenance are required. We need them to be able to keep these facilities up and running and working. So for now, I think that there should be adequate supply unless these alternative arrangements are found to be inadequate down the line.
Fair enough, there's no need for us to worry. But what could be the potential impact of this 17-day shutdown on operations for businesses who would largely depend on this commodity?
Exactly. So at least from what we know now, the official communication is that there should not be any disruption. And so, as I said, when we do receive lean gas from the OCTP, we can be sure that that can augment or support what also comes from Nigeria in the interim, because this 17 days, a lot can happen in this period. And so that is also part of it. Apart from that, I'm sure you're also aware that some of our facilities are also, they have the capability to use heavy fuel oil, which is an alternative fuel source that can be considered apart from natural gas. And so if there is reserve or there's capacity for heavy fuel oil available in country, then it means that it's about how to operationalize or put it, let's say, coordinate among the various stakeholders to ensure that at any point in time there's adequate supply, either from the Sankofa OCTP plants, or if there's a need to rely on heavy fuel oil or other sources. Because I believe that even though the Atuabo gas plant will be shut down for this 17 days, we can also continue to expect some gas from Nigeria unless otherwise stated. So for now, businesses should be obviously planning. They should be planning because, as you know, anything can happen. So they should have plans in case there's disruption in power along the line, which means that those who have to look at their generating plants and making sure that they have fuel reserves to power those plants in the event that there is no power supply. And also, obviously, the renewable energy sources, it looks like the continuous need to emphasize investments in renewable energy like solar and so on, so that people can have alternatives to cushion them in times like this. Because as I've said, the maintenance is something that we cannot do without. It is absolutely essential to ensure that the machines and the equipment that are used to produce, the final product that is used by these power plants are, ready to be used. Exactly.
That's fine. Already, Ghana Gas is assuring of lean gas from, other sources. I'm asking that, is that sufficient?
That's why I'm saying that for now, it should be sufficient, because most of these things, as I've said, are planned. And so before this announcement, the various stakeholders have had conversations around how to mitigate them. And so the various stakeholders, including the IPPs, obviously the regulator, Petroleum Commission, Ghana Gas, all these players. And so if what we are taking from the Sankofa OCTP is not adequate, then obviously it will be shown in a very few days. We'll start seeing signs of that, because that is a plant that is actually taking gas from the ENI project, and so that is lean gas ready to be used, unlike the other gas that comes from the 10 or Jubilee project, which is wet gas, which requires processing to make it fit for purpose for as far as power plants are concerned. And I also know that the ENI, the Sankofa OCTP plant is giving us lean gas and is also on a take or pay basis, which means that is gas that we are going to pay for whether we use it or not. And so if that has been made available to be used, it should be adequate, considering the power needs of the country at this time, because there's absolutely no reason as at now to question whether good planning has been done. But as I said, within a few days, it will begin to show quite clearly to all Ghanaians to know whether indeed what has been put in place is adequate or not. But that particular field, the OCTP, should have enough gas to weather us through this next 17 days.
Very well. Thank you so much, Lum Halija, for your time speaking to us here on Business Live. We appreciate your thoughts. A while longer within the space, energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Suleiman says the increase in Brent crude by 4% on the international market and the unstable cedi is likely to affect oil prices. According to him, these factors are likely to prevent any reduction in the prices of petroleum products in the short term. He spoke earlier on the marketplace.
There is another area we don't have control. I mean, we are not able to have a firm handle on. That is the performance of the cedi. If the cedi was so stable or had performed better, I think most of these ones, the impact wouldn't have been that much that we are having it now. But unfortunately, the cedi is not doing well. Yes, I also foresee that they may do what we call wait and see. And that I think they're going to do. I predict that they will do that because that's the nature of our players. Of course, if the other way around, they are easy to increase, but reducing, they are always waiting for the market to cool down. And if you look at what is happening, like I mentioned, they are likely to do the wait and see. My hope is that they will reduce, but if you look at what is happening and the fact that it's already jumped by 4%, a lot of them may do wait and see, and they may not reduce that we're expecting. That may not happen. Yeah. So I've said it several times that if you look at the oil market, if you look at OPEC, and since even since 2019 to 2020 after COVID, they came together and made a supply cut, and the supply cut was to prop up the market. Until now, they are still staying put and they are still staying course on the supply cut. Because if you look at what is happening, OPEC is not ready to lose twice. Now they are losing the market share to US shale. And they're also saying that, if you don't hold onto the supply cuts, there's nothing to gain.
Now to some other stories. A new report published by auditing and accounting firm PwC shows that approximately 43% of family-owned private businesses lack a succession plan. A partner at PwC, Edward Enyam Gumado, believes that deliberate and planned business cohesion can significantly improve the statistics and drive growth. He spoke in an interview with Joy Business at the PwC Business Forum here in Accra.
Private companies encounter a variety of challenges, including sustainability, succession planning, regulatory compliance, and good corporate governance. Research by PwC reveals that 43% of family firms lack a succession plan and only 12% survive to the third generation. In an interview with Joy Business, Edward Enyam Gumado, a partner at PwC, emphasized the importance of a planned cohesion to drive business expansion.
When it comes to private companies, you are not only focused on the business success, you also need to plan for the family cohesion. And so having the family success and business success working together hand in hand takes you to that destination. Now, when you go through that process, you will develop what we call the governance. Governance for the family, governance for the business. Family businesses are significant contributors to economies they operate in. In terms of employment, private companies contribute in excess of 60% to national employment.
Executive Chairman of Nyaho Healthcare Limited, Elikem Tamaklo, highlighted the necessity of a robust corporate governance structure.
I think that to be able to bring people together in the board, and if you talk about corporate governance, it's really about how you have the right skills at the table for the type of decisions you have to make. And so that's really what corporate governance is. And then once you have the right people can they work together to help the business thrive? Because businesses support not just the customer, but the employees, and that's the bedrock of society.
All right, so let's understand the figures better. Joining us via Zoom to do that is a partner at PwC, Edward Enyinam-Gumadu. Edward, thanks so much for joining me on Business Live. Now, I want you to explain to us why it is important to have a succession plan if I, for example, own a family business.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and greetings to your listeners. Indeed, the statistics does the speaking, and where the numbers are not supporting where we want to be as a nation, then clearly something needs to be done. So the PwC Global Family Business Survey does indicate that some 43% do not have succession plan. That is family-owned businesses. And only 12% of family-owned businesses make it to the third generation. Now, these numbers are global numbers, and they are worrying. When you come to Ghana, however, the statistics may be much more depressing. So yesterday at the PwC West Africa Family Business Summit, we did take a poll, and one of the questions we asked was the family businesses present in the room, whether they were ready for succession. Only 12% answered yes. We had 45% saying maybe they may be able to transition, and 43% saying we are unsure. Clearly, this is worrying, and something has to be done if we want to take advantage of the leverage that family businesses bring to economies they operate in.
And I'm curious, what could be the reasons from your findings as to the feedback you got from them as to why they wouldn't want to have a succession plan?
Okay, so I guess it starts from maybe awareness. So not everyone is aware that there is that kind of support available to private or family businesses. And then secondly,
support from where?
They are also
support from where?
Support, exactly, that's what I'm coming to. Support from seasoned consultants. Now, unfortunately, there are not many family business consultants in Ghana. And so when I've had the opportunity to speak with family business owners, after the conversations, what they would typically say is, we never knew this is available in Ghana. And then families that have successfully transitioned from generations to generations, you would notice that somehow they received that support from the Western world. Meanwhile, the support is available locally, and PwC has made that investment and supports them. So the thing is, corporate consulting is very different from family business consulting. And so most consultants that family businesses are aware of only focus on corporate. But if you do that, you lose the most vital element, which is the family element. And that is where the uniqueness of a family business consultant.
Really, when you talk about family consulting, it definitely would have to come with a price. How affordable is that?
So affordability comes with benefits. So if you listen to the interview that Dr. Nyahota Maklo granted yesterday, he did mention that, well, initially putting up some money they thought was a bit too much for them or expensive. But when you look at the value they've gotten as a result of that, it so much justified the investment that was done. So the question is about value. Number one, you've spent your entire life building this business. Okay. Now, how much is that business worth to you? In other words, are you willing to not plan a proper succession for that business just because you'll be paying 1,000 or 2,000? Whereas you put in that money and you are able to put in place structures to protect the investments you spent your life building and also be able to pass it from generation to generation. And so I think it's always a value conversation.
Great.
And if the value you get out of the process outweighs the cost, certainly jump for it.
Adam Gumadu, thank you so much for joining us on Business Live with that great analysis. You're still watching Business Live. We are back with more.
It was that recording that later caught fire. Now people were like, hey, nahi phony.
We promised and we delivered. We unveiled amazing business personalities. Now, buckle up for another thrilling season of the Career Trail. Get ready for another set of amazing personalities, fascinating journeys, breathtaking stories.
When I didn't get admission as tech, I got sick from brokenness. Because I come home and all my friends have gone to the university. I'm the only one.
The wow moments.
I've introduced every relevant artist music.
The bad sides.
It was horrible. I was actually pushed to depression.
The lessons.
If I have the opportunity to undo something in my life, it would probably be me not getting married at that tender age.
The questions and the fun. We just leveled up. The Career Trail is back and better, taking you a step further to your dream entrepreneurial destination. The Career Trail, your success journey begins here.
Welcome back. You're still live on Business Live. Now, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry has expressed worry businesses are not expanding due to the high interest rates being quoted by banks. According to the Chamber, the development has greatly impacted on the growth and sustenance of firms. The Chamber is of the view that it's about time the Bank of Ghana intervenes by stimulating the private sector by reducing the lending rate further to propel growth. Mark Bedu-Abuaji is the CEO of the Chamber.
Now, from 2022, inflation was as high as 54%. The policy rate was 29.5. Now, inflation is, I think, 22%, and you are still keeping the policy rate at 29%. We've also seen some stability within the foreign exchange market, which means that there is no risk in that sense, although there's possibility of also going back. But once we have had all these key indicators trending in the right direction, inflation coming down, and then stability in the foreign exchange, we would have expected that the central bank would at least send a signal to the business community that it's time for you to help in the recovery process. Because businesses are not borrowing because interest rates are high. At the moment you want to go and borrow, the data from Bank of Ghana, the least you can get is 31.5. It can go as high as 47%. I don't expect any business to be able to make profit under this high interest rate. So what they are doing is that probably they are not investing, they are not expanding. That is the reason why a lot of people are also not getting jobs, because the business will expand and then employ people. So it's about time that they bring in the private sector. And what they can do is to stimulate us in terms of reducing the interest rate, and that will also bring the private sector on board in helping with the recovery. Monetary policy, fiscal policy, they are all good, but you also need the real sector, which is the private sector, to use these policies to drive the economy. I don't see anything changing from now until the end of the year from the budget, I realized that it's just a normal thing that we had. We were not happy with the tax system anyway, but I think that it was also an opportunity to set the foundation for a proper recovery in 2025. We missed that opportunity, and I think that we should take up that issue in 2025 if we really want to move our economy forward.
More on businesses. Chief Executive for Go Compliance Solutions, James Kwesi Ofori, has emphasized the need for support to small businesses to upskill and become global giants. According to him, this is important since many young entrepreneurs lack the knowledge to enhance their growth. James Kwesi Ofori made the call in an interview with Joy Business after engaging some SMEs and startups in a career and guidance fair organized in partnership with the Conrado Group. Here's a report.
Ghana's small and medium enterprises seems to be facing challenges due to lack of support and required skills to drive growth for their operations. This challenge has compelled many to fold up or downsize and thereby affecting employment ratios across the country. According to Chief Executive for Go Compliance Solutions, Lion James Ofori, small businesses need training platforms to be able to learn from best practices to increase productivity. He spoke to Joy Business after engaging some SMEs and students of the Heritage Christian University College.
Is to bring together businesses, and then we advise them on how to ensure competency in their various fields, and also some of the trainings that we have, the safety trainings that we have. We share it to them, we share the idea to them for them to, those that want to progress their career, to take their career to the next level, and then those that are currently not doing anything, and then they currently unemployed, so that they can take advantage of some of these courses, whilst we guide them get jobs for themselves. So basically that is why we are organizing this seminar.
As partners for the event, Chief Executive for the Conrado, Conrad Kakraba, believes that such platforms will help to support students and small businesses in making policy decisions.
To partner in order to have this career and business development seminar, because we know very well that the world is changing, and we are introducing all the dynamics to the students and also business leaders and startups so that we can actually understand how businesses function, what are the safety measures and standards and competencies that are required, and then also the attitudes that are very important for them to be able to succeed. Because
Thanks so much for being part of Business Live for today. I am Pius Kojo Baka. See you at 8 p.m. with Prime Business.
This week on the 77% Street Debate.
Kenya has come to the brink of revolution so many times.
We had flags.